After 4 films, the Conjuring tetralogy has officially closed the Warren files for good. I mean, we still have the spin-offs like Annabelle, The Nun, but this is officially the last film for the Warrens family. And I kind of expected better, so let's talk about it. So The Conjuring, The Last Rite, it's the last film of the Conjuring tetralogy. I wanted this movie to go out with a bang, but it really did not. So the story for this film is the Warrens have to go to the SNOOZE house because they're experiencing a lot of, evil spirits, possessions, evil, sinister, ghost, scary stuff. So, the works. But this kind of could have been a legendary tetralogy if they would have stuck with James Wan, because he directed Conjuring 1 and 2, and the director of this 4th movie is the same director as the 3rd film. We'll talk about that later. So this movie was supposed to focus on the haunting of the Smule family, but instead we got more of a love letter to Ed and Lorraine Warren. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I enjoy seeing them on screen because, like I talked about in my previous videos, Ed and Lorraine Warren's love actually put this franchise together. Just every time they're on screen, just beautiful. But they put this to overdrive, so this film was 80% Warrens and like 20% the Smule family. So we didn't really get a fleshed out haunting with this family. This one's one of the longer Conjuring movies, and I expected them to utilize their time more, but they didn't. Because it really did not touch upon what it needed to the most. It was, like I said, just focused more on the center of point of just the Warrens. We have more of a progressive story for their daughter Judy. She has more to do in this movie. This movie mainly revolves around her and just an extension of the Warrens altogether. The more this story goes on, the more you see this movie, you really do just see them. You learn more about them. You love them. You see what Judy's going through. You see that she has a partner. And you see that she's getting her visions like her mother is. So they're expanding more on that storyline for Judy. The Smules, they end up as props for the Warrens' love story. They didn't do what they did with the Perron family. They didn't do what they did with the Hodgson family, because they had a middle point in the Conjuring 1 and 2 where they gave you Ed and Lorraine Warren, but the centerpiece of the film was the haunting of the family. This was the complete opposite. But for the case when you do see it, they do somewhat stay true to the real life story of this, because the Smule family was going through it for months in this house before Ed and Lorraine even came by to help them out. They were going through things moving, noises being made at night. They said they heard the toilet flush when nobody was in there. And on a few occasions, some of the family in the house did get SA'd by whatever was haunting them. And they do bring those aspects into this movie, but it's more calm, more tamed in a sense. This did bring back the horrors that I did miss with 1 and 2, because the 3rd Conjuring was more of a drama thriller film as they started to get into the whole detective route, especially with Lorraine Warren. But this one brought back the haunted house. This one brought back the scares. And when the scares did come on the screen, it really did have you on the edge of your seat, and it had you in a panic. But it was so small. It was like a very fulfilling appetizer. It was good while it was there, but it was kind of gone too soon. But like I was going to bring up at the beginning, this was from the director of The Curse of the La Llorona. This is from the director of The Conjuring 3, The Devil Made Me Do It. This was the director of The Nun. So them putting him on instead of getting James Wan back really did deflate this franchise. Because all 4 of these movies could have been a gold mine if James Wan stayed on and directed all 4 of them. This could have been and went down in history as one of the best horror trilogies, just one of the best horror series, period. But just talking about the Conjuring aspect, not talking about the spin-offs. So I didn't really know why they gave him this movie when his previous film, The Conjuring 3, The Devil Made Me Do It, was significantly underwhelming than his 2 predecessors. But in this movie, I love that it was a love letter to just the Conjuring franchise in general. Because you got a lot of Easter eggs, you got a lot of build-ups. If you haven't seen the previous 3 movies, you are going to be confused with the little hints and notes that they drop in with this movie. Because when you get to Judy, you see stuff with Annabelle. You see that the beef never dies. She's been going through problems with Annabelle since the beginning. And that's not really much of a spoiler, because if you look into it, there's the Annabelle popcorn bucket. Granted, the Annabelle popcorn bucket is where you have to eat it from her, but come on, I guess some of us are used to doing that, right? And there was no actual like villain in this. You had the witch from Conjuring 1. You had Valet from Conjuring 2 and the Cricket Man. In the third one, you had that witch. And now there was nothing that really had a background. It was just something that they pushed under the rug because, like I said, they didn't flesh out the Smeel family and really get in depth with everything. The whole story was just a full circle that was severely connected to their daughter. But the performances in this movie, Ed and Lorraine Warren, they really held it down. They really did their thing. I love them. I'm going to miss them. This film does show you that they are extremely seasoned, that they are in their last, their last case before they just stop altogether. They're done with it. They're older. They dressed it. They looked it. Their attitude. They just wanted to live their life. But they couldn't really carry a weak script. And the side characters didn't really get much to do because, like I said, the script was weak. But I can say that this was better than The Devil Made Me Do It, but that's not really a high bar. So, The Conjuring, The Last Rite, the rating I'll give this is a entertainment. So, if you guys have seen this movie, tell me what did you guys think about this movie. Compare it to the other movies in this franchise. To all of them all together, not just the Conjuring movie. And comment below, what's your favorite haunted house movie? What's your favorite horror movie in general? So if you like my vibe, comment below, like and subscribe. And as always, I'm James Hancock, signing off.